Every spring, we see this great cherry blossom tree just across the street come to life. Recently, I stopped underneath and looked up and saw the American flag in the adjacent apartment building framed beautifully by the flowers. It was one of those moments I knew that I'd want to paint. So I want to talk about some of the challenges with this scene and how I approached them. Here's the pencil sketch I started with. Space is a premium here in the city, so I often tape up the paper on a door. You can check out an earlier video I made to see how I do my basic time-lapse videos. Unfortunately, I didn't shoot any video of the initial painting steps, but you can see how I'm going over the earlier layers of the apartment building to build up some darker tones to better match the internal lighting of the scene. Okay, I'm going to speed the footage up from here on out. Some time usually passes between taking a photo of a scene I like and actually starting to paint it. A couple of weeks will go by, and then after I finish something else I'm working on, I'll go back to my shots to pick the next subject. During that time though, I'm still mulling over the scene, thinking about how to approach it. For this one, there are a lot of flowers, and I don't usually paint flowers. They've always intimidated me. And here they're in front, prominent, and in front of a large structure, which means more planning to allow for the background to poke through. For some reason, I felt up to the challenge. Besides being flowers, these cherry blossoms were also a little deceptive. I knew approximately what color they were, but when you actually look at them in the scene, they were very dark. So I couldn't just use a color based on what they look like in the light. It wouldn't fit the internal values of the scene. This is where having a photograph is very helpful. In a way, the lighting has already been decided for you. All you have to do is examine the photo, agree with the values that are shown, and you can choose to either mimic it, approximate it, or do neither. Another challenge was that the backlit flowers naturally had light coming through their edges. Using watercolors to portray light is not easy. You can't just add lighter colors on top of other colors. The darker colors underneath will still be visible. The easier thing to do is to use the white of the paper to your advantage. So basically I made sure to pencil in the outline of the flowers, and when I was ready to paint, I carefully left a sliver of paper around the flowers still exposed. I also used the white of the paper to express the brightest spot in the middle of the composition, where the sun is peeking through. I found the hardest part was figuring out how to depict the flowers. I wanted them to be convincing, but not overly fussy about every single petal and line that I could see. That's also not enjoyable to me, but I wanted them to have enough detail, and that always takes time. Somewhere in there is a happy medium. And I had to remind myself that the impression of a flower can be even more convincing than the most realistic portrayal. Overall, I'm happy with how this painting turned out. I love scenes which give me challenges to tackle, and this one had plenty of them. I feel like I learned a lot from studying this scene. Oh, and just a few days after I took the original photograph, the flowers are gone. I feel pretty lucky that I captured them that day. Thanks for watching.